Okay, so let me explain this a little bit. So you have the story view, which is this screen, and then you have the groups on the bottom right, you can see. Um, and when we are trying to do all of this user task group stuff, what we're trying to do is store it in Redux so that when we go into the chat, you will be able to read from Redux, and that's where the whole message and chat comes from. So there is a problem right now is where within this story page, within this view right here, there is no storing of the user task group into Redux. And now what this user task group is essentially just the object that has information about the group, as well as the team, which is then used for the chat. So without this object in the Redux, the chat doesn't work. So what that means is when I like this story, which I'm clicking here, um, there will be there'll be two ways. One is either I start a new team or I join an existing one. At this point of time, I haven't got there isn't any existing one, so there's nothing I can join. Now both of these activities do not add the user task group. So you can see here there are two ways. Either I add myself to the team. So in this case, what it will do is it will call this API, team update API. Essentially, all it does is just add a user to the team, and it doesn't actually even really do much about a user task group. The good news here, however, is that there is this method here that already has the user task group. So I think you can simply just add this user task group to Redux on this function add user to team. So this is the part whereby there's an existing team, existing group, and you just want to add the user to this group. But note that it is not actually this API here is updating the team, but not the group. In the future, I expect that I can consolidate this and make it a group instead. Now the other way is creating a new team. So again, just now I was saying that the chat works on a team level, not on a group level. However, the team is part of a group. So the first thing that this function does is it creates a new team, and then you will add all of the emails. You add my own email, and then you will update the team in a database. But also note that then after that there's this create new user task group. So what it does is then it just creates this user task group. It adds the sparks, which is the reward, and then it saves the user task group. Then it navigates to the chat. So you can see with these two functions, these two methods, none of them actually does anything with Redux. We have created the groups, we have saved the groups in the database, but we did not update Redux. So what happens is you can see over here, this navigates to the chat. So the chat goes in, but then there's the messaging doesn't work essentially in that chat because nothing has worked. But the good news is that in this screen, just now, you saw that on the groups page, there is the groups part actually does retrieve the user task groups, which is the part in the code right now where it works. So if I were to go to the groups page, it will retrieve all of the user task groups in the system. Come on. I'll just show you this one. So so then over here, what it does is on the mount here, rather on the mount, it will get the user task groups, and essentially we just use it for that page. But this is on the user task group view level. So it's kind of like not even on the main page. So you can almost imagine the problem that we will have next is that yes, I can place all of this in the story, but the problem is when I when I relog in, I'm not retrieving it. So what will happen is later on we need to take all of this. Even I need to move this part to the story view. Back up to the component mount here. This is going to need to be done when I log into the story view at some point. So after this, I think we need to do it.